So, 'tis the season of no natural light whatsoever, even though it's just 4 p.m. Hello there. So today we have a pretty exciting day. Once again, it's the drugstore season, and some of the brands we regularly review on this channel came out with new stuff. So we have some Essence, we got some Catrice, we got Trended Up, some other stuff that I picked up along the way. Basically, we have like a almost full face of new stuff and kind of like seasonal stuff. So I'm very excited to give it a shot and see what they came up with right now. So let's start off with priming. It's a great time for priming. Essence came out with like a whole new range of primers. I have two of them here. One is the Poreless Partner Primer, and the second one is the Hydro Hero Primer. I've been testing both of these out for a minute now, so I'm just gonna use them both. This is like a mattifying and blurring primer with niacinamide, which is also supposed to be non-comedogenic, which is great. I quite like the texture. It's almost like a gel. It doesn't remind me of like any of the old school putty primers and stuff. It's kind of like, it's not even that mattifying, or I don't find it very mattifying, but it feels very nice on the skin, almost cooling. It's super lightweight, and it just feels very good. I don't think it's like the most blurring primer I've ever used, but definitely it's nice. I like the texture, but it's nothing like super exciting in terms of the pore blurring, which is usually what I'm mostly after. If you like a more matte skin and you enjoy some lightweight primers, it also has a little bit of tackiness to it. So in general, I think the texture is really nice. It's probably just not like an all over the face primer for a little bit drier skin, in my opinion. For the rest of my face, I'm gonna use the Hydro Hero Primer, which has hyaluronic acid and cucumber extract, which, yeah, it's pretty cool. It also has like a coconut fruit juice, some other like hydrating ingredients. It's not too bad. It does remind me there are other hydrating primers. It's kind of like this creamy gel. It's definitely not too sticky. It's very lightweight. For some reason, I just don't enjoy this one as much as I enjoy my other hydrating primers. But now that I'm putting it on, it's kind of like cooling. It's actually quite nice. So I'm not mad at it. It's not my favorite. It's pilling a little, but it never happened before. That's a little strange. Maybe it's some skincare I had underneath, I'm not sure. So now before I get into the foundation and everything, I have this Essence Extreme Care Hydrating Glossy Lip Balm. I have something else for my lips later, but since this is like a lip balm, I thought we might as well just put it on at the start of the video and see if it's actually hydrating. It has vegan collagen, shea butter, and hyaluronic acid, and it's just supposed to be a tinted lip balm basically, which is in like their gloss packaging. I have the shade Milky Cocoa. Feels nice, looks quite nice too. It doesn't feel too thick. It does feel more like a lip gloss than a lip balm. It's not very like slippery, but I like it. I feel like if someone told me this is a lip gloss, I would be completely fine with it, because it does actually remind me a lot of my glosses that I have. The color is a bit like concealer lip for me, but that's fine. So for a foundation, we don't really have a foundation in like a classical sense, but I do have this new Trended Up Magic Face Perfection Cream with niacinamide and SPF 30, and it's one of those like toning creams with the little pearls that are gonna like, you know, just pop on your face with a pigment, and then it's just gonna mix with the cream, and you're gonna basically have like a tinted moisturizer pretty much. So we'll see how that goes. These usually go two ways. Either it's really good or it's a disaster, but I must say that I do have like favorite foundations among this type of product, so I'm very, very curious. It definitely comes out white, which is no surprise. So I'm gonna take my LYS foundation brush, which is a little busted, but it's okay. Feels very wet. I feel like the more you blend it, the darker it gets. Here on the palette, it does look like a little tinted, but on my face, It looks a little dark. It's definitely super glowy. Like, this is like a properly dewy look. It smells exactly like your grandma's moisturizer, like 100%. Absolutely, like, you cannot mistake this smell for anything. I don't know. I might be a little too pale for this. It doesn't look super even, especially on camera. I can kind of see getting a bit patchy. It's very dewy. Like, if you're into this kind of thing, I feel like it would be really nice for you. Just something super dewy, very light coverage. But the universal shade always just throws me off. Wow, this is an interesting product. Like, I don't know what to think. Let's just continue and see how it works with the other product. Because even though I do wear these like tinted creams very often, I usually don't wear them by themselves. In general, I always use them instead of a foundation. So I'm still gonna put, stuff on top. For my concealer, I have something a little to put in beforehand. So I have the new Catrice Under Eye Brightener in the shade Light Rose, and it is supposed to be like a caring under eye brightener with shea butter. Okay, well, that sounds like a disaster. It looks like this. I have tried using it a couple times, not very successfully, but it's this like dewy, balmy looking peachy pink product. I have this Vicon E20 brush, which is like the super simple, it's like a Sigma ripoff, okay? But I think it could be great for this kind of product, so I'm gonna pick up a little bit. And I'm gonna just apply to here where my under eye bags are the worst, and probably here at the outer portion as well. So I conceal like the parts of my eye that I thought are the darkest. I don't worry too much about blending the edges because I'm going to be putting concealer on top. So I think we're going to figure that out later. But this side looks like this, the difference. This is the side where I applied it. Yeah, like it's definitely very dewy and reflective. So you know what I think about that. I think that's a bit of a cheating. I'm just going to keep it on this eye and apply the concealer and everything like I normally would. So we can see the difference. Because I feel like if I apply it under both eyes, it's not going to be, you're not going to get the difference. So I'm going to grab the Catrice Cover & Care Sensitive Concealer. It's a little bit of a redemption. But I remember it didn't have the best coverage, so maybe trying it out with an eye brightener is going to be a bit better. So let's go in with that. Concealer is blended. Again, this side has the under eye brightener and this side is just how it is. So the light is reflecting a bit more on this side for sure, but in real life they look pretty much identical. Looking in the mirror really up close, you cannot see much difference. I don't know, I'm not too sure about this. I feel like the dewy formula is just too dewy. Let's not give up all the hope, okay? I'm gonna set the face as well. I have the Revlon Photo Ready Candid Anti-Pollution Setting Powder. I was in love with the Revlon Candid products when they came out. Not that much the Glow foundation, but the regular foundation was incredible, as well as the concealer. But I never got around to using the powder, so now that I finally purchased it, I can happily report to you that it's probably one of my favorite powders ever made. So what I like a lot is that it has like a cap, so it's not super messy. And it has almost like this peachy tone to it, so it's actually really good on the under eyes. I'm gonna use my little velvet puff to set the under eyes. So I pick up the powder, then I kind of tap it off and go in. The under eyes are set even when they're mattified. I don't see almost any difference. Like this, they look the same. This is the side with the brightener, this is the side without it, and yeah, I don't think I see enough difference to justify this kind of product. It just feels like an extra step that does nothing. We have a cream blush. I don't think I've used this one on camera. Maybe I did, but I'm not using this one a whole lot. This is the Milani Cheek Kiss Liquid Blush in the shade Rose Romance. I thought it might match the hair pretty well now, so I wanted to give it a shot. This is like vibrant. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, okay, you need like a droplet of this, not even that. It's insanely vibrant. I'm gonna try and tone it down a little bit with a foundation brush. Yeah, it works a little. I think we tamed it a little bit. So that's all the cream products we have for today. So now I'm going to set my face with a Candid powder. This powder doesn't get enough hype. It's incredible. Look at the face. Like, it doesn't even mattify you like 100%. It still leaves you with like a little bit of sheen and it doesn't feel dry. It wears super well. I don't know, I just feel like my under eyes were never smoother. So I'm genuinely in love with this and I would definitely recommend it. Plus you can get it actually like really cheap. It's such a good affordable powder. I was very surprised that I didn't buy it sooner or that I didn't hear more people talk about it. Now I look a little insane with a blush, so I'm gonna take the Physicians Formula Butter Coffee Bronzer. Listen, I couldn't resist, okay? The best part, it actually smells like coffee, like a really strong one. So it's like this like cocoa brown with like the latte art, which is super cute, and it's shimmery. So we'll see how that goes. It's definitely one of the more subtle bronzers I have, but it did something, so let's not give up on it too soon. Now that the face is looking semi-okay, I think we can move on to the brows. I don't have any new, like, pencils or anything, so I'll just use my Milani Weekend Brow Pen and just fill these in a little because they're really faded now. Whew, okay, not my best work, but I haven't used one of the pens in like forever, so I'm very unskilled right now. But what I have that is new is this new Essence Fix It Like a Boss Transparent Brow Fixing Gel. Extra strong, supposedly. We know how these usually go, but let's give it a shot. It does have a pretty thick wand and a lot of product comes onto it, so I would recommend just taking some of it off. And we'll see how it actually works. It is very wet, so I'm gonna let it dry for a bit, but you have to be kind of careful not to get it on your foundation. I'm not very impressed so far. We'll see how it goes. We'll let it dry, then maybe we'll add a second layer, we will see. Some brow gels just have to be layered, it's a thing, so we'll see, we'll give it a shot. Next, what do I need? This is quite a rare occasion because we actually have a new eyeshadow primer. This is the Essence Prime Like a Boss eyeshadow base, which comes in one universal shade, and it's supposed to be intensifying, long-lasting, and no creasing, so we'll see about that. Comes in a tube, and it's quite small, but that can also be, you know, convenient. I'll just probably apply with my finger. It's like this almost pearlescent white, pretty thick, almost like oily. Wow. That's an interesting texture. It is kind of hard for me to like assess an eyeshadow base if I don't wear it for long enough, and I haven't been using this one all that much, so I really don't know what I think about it yet. It does feel a little bit sticky, just a tiny bit though, nothing too dramatic. So we'll just use some eyeshadow with it and we will see. So this is the Makeup Obsession and Rady collaboration in, you know, it's the Dusk palette they have. Like, I've had this palette for ages and I'm a really big fan of Rady. And I still haven't used it on camera, so let's go for it. It looks like this. It has like this nice earthy, just beautiful color scheme. At the time when this this came out, this was truly like one of the most unique color stories that I've seen, and the quality of these shades is actually very good too. The only thing I'm not too like overwhelmed with are the shimmers, but they're definitely not bad. It's just the standards are a bit somewhere else now, I think. So I'm just gonna do something very simple and then we can check out some other products. Listen, this might be a little bit more dramatic than I anticipated, but I really like it. So just to recap which shades I used, I started off with the shade Rose Madder, which is like the most base of the look. It's kind of like this reddish pink. It doesn't really show on camera. Then I did use the shade Otter Baby and Eclipse to darken out the outer corners. Of course, then I started singing Eclipse of the Heart for like the past 10 minutes. And then on the lid, I used the shade Lothlorien, which is this beautiful shimmer. It doesn't even look like it, but it's almost like glittery. It's really cute. This is the look using the Rady's Dusk palette. I think the palette is awesome. And I don't think I ever heard anyone talk about the Makeup Obsession eyeshadows in like a very good way, which is a shame because apparently they can do some very good formulas. Now for the liner. This is the fairly new Essence Pumpkins Pretty Please. It's from like their Halloween collection, and this is a creamy shadow eyeliner, which you could have seen in my favorites video. That's how much I've been using it, that it made it to the favorites video. So just to recap, you have a brush on one side and you have like a liner in the lid, and just dip it in and you go. So I'm just gonna do like a very little smoky liner. So it kind of is exactly what it says. It's a creamy shadow eyeliner. Of course, you can now like go in with something else and just smudge it out a little bit. But you have to work quite fast because it dries down very fast. Yeah, but I'm just gonna keep it like this, slightly smudged. There we go. That's the eye look. This is just so me, like, hey, today I'm gonna wear a tinted moisturizer and then bam, drag eyes. Yeah, that's totally me. For the mascara, I'm gonna use the Catrice Boost Up. It is still fairly new, so I want to give it more shots. And I've been actually using it quite often lately, and I think it's not a bad mascara at all. There's that. That's the mascara. I think it's actually quite okay. You cannot really see it, I think. Can you? Maybe. Do I want to use a lash? I think this look could use some lashes. So, I've got these Essence Lash Like a Boss. I don't think I've used these ones yet because they are literally glued. And this is the style OMG. They look awesome. They look wispy. I love that. And with them, because I hate glue, I'm gonna use the NYX 2-in-1 liner and lash adhesive. Because I already have a liner on, I'm just gonna do like a very thin line near my lashes. And then I'll just measure these and put them on. Okay, this is what they look like. They are very dramatic. Like, who has eyes this big? Oh my god. I always feel like a damn surgeon, but it's so important to cut your lashes. Because if the lashes are too long, they're just gonna look horrible. And they're not gonna stick. Let's apply the glue. Okay, this is like surprisingly not very dry. I didn't really expect that. So let's try these. Let's try to put them on. What is that? This one is so busted. So I quite like these. They're definitely super dramatic. Like, those are some lashes. But I like them. I must say I really like these. They have a little bit of a thicker band than your usual like Ardell's, but they're quite easy to work with, and the adhesive seems to be okay too. They're ginormous though. If I were to wear my glasses, I feel like I would be just swiping the glass all day. Look at the length of the lash. Touching my eyebrows and touching my eyebrows. What is left to do? Highlight. I didn't know this was gonna turn so dramatic, but I have like the least dramatic highlighter ever. This is the Essence Make Me Glow Baked Highlighter, and I think this is supposed to be like a revamp of the like super famous highlighter they used to have back at the day, which was like very subtle, but people really loved it, and it was very similar. It looked exactly the same. It was just different. And there's just one shade. To me, this looks more like almost like a highlighty setting powder. So let's just see how it looks. It's definitely like very subtle when you swatch it. It's like it's there, but it's one of those like almost like satin shiny, you know, like it's not metallic, it's not like glittery, it's like this very subtle, almost just like a sheen. It looks very natural, very beautiful. On like a no makeup days, like this kind of super not kind of look we have on today, it would be beautiful. Let me wipe off the rest of that lip balm, which is still kind of on. And for like the final look, I do have a new Catrice Melting Kiss Gloss Stick. So I love that brands actually keep coming out with like new formulas for shiny lipsticks, you know, glosses, stick things and different stuff. So this seems really cool. This looks really up my alley. I have the shade 20 and it's like this kind of nudie pinkish shade. I didn't pick up like a peachy one because I have like 1,000 peachy lipsticks in this kind of formula. So let's try it on. It smells very nostalgic, I don't know why. Definitely a very comfortable lipstick. There are little glitters in it, but you cannot really feel them all that much. It's not too moisturizing, so I don't think it's gonna be like very slippery or transfer too much, but it's definitely hydrating and it feels very good. It really does feel a little bit more like a gloss than like a lipstick. It does remind me of the tinted lip balms from Sephora. It's a very similar formula. I think this is the finished look. So, the eyes are not matching the rest of the look, but nobody cares. I just went a little extra with the eyeshadow, but overall, I feel like most of the products we tried today were pretty good. Now, the only things that are a bit like not 100% are the primer, the hydrating primer. I'm not entirely sure. I think I have to keep testing it a little bit more to really see if I like it. It does feel nice on the skin, but the combination with the tinted moisturizer is a little too much. That brings me to the other thing I'm not sure of, which is the tinted moisturizer. This is so dewy, so little pigmented, and like so wet that I don't know if I would reach for this a ton. It does look nice, and it did not like do anything funny with the powder. So I think it's okay, and it does give me some kind of coverage, but at the same time, I still feel like it's a little orange. Like you can definitely see a difference between my neck and my face. So it would definitely be more like my summer shade than like, you know, wearing it at the dead of the winter. But it's not too bad. I feel like there's a ton of people who would love this. I'm not sure I'm necessarily one of them, but I definitely don't think it's a bad product. Plus, the sun protection is awesome. I honestly forgot this has SPF, and it did not irritate my eyes or anything. This is this is pretty good. I also have to say that I like the concealer a little bit more than when we tried it the last time, so I might start wearing it a little bit more often. But the under eye brightener, I don't think it did anything. Honestly, I don't see the benefit. Maybe if you have like super dry under eyes that need like that extra occlusive layer or something, then sure. But I don't know. I'll have to keep testing it a little bit more to see if I can find a use case for that. Other than that, let's check the brows. There's definitely hold in the brows, and I feel like if we layered the gel, it would be even better. So I think it's a yes from me. Like, there are so many bad brow gels in the drugstore that I feel like this is enough to give me like a hope that this one is actually workable and is actually gonna work well. When it comes to the eyes, everything is bomb, and the smoky liner is amazing. If you're tired of your like regular cat eye, I feel like spicing it up with some kind of powder or like this kind of creamy smudgy eyeliner is really fun. So I would definitely recommend. And what's the rest of the stuff? The Milani blush, extremely pigmented, but it looks very cute. Now I really like it. And the Essence highlighter, I really feel like this is a revamp of that like cult favorite one they had, and I must say I really like it and I reach for it a ton. Even though it's like one of the most subtle highlighters I have, I definitely feel like I have a use case for it very often. So I'm super happy about that. And the lipstick, yeah, the more I have it on, the more I like it. It's super nice. It's so shiny. It's really cute. The color is nice. I feel like they really did something good with these launches. Oh yeah, I would almost forget the powder. The best. Anyway, that is it. We did something a bit more dramatic today, but I had a great time. So thank you very much for watching. Consider subscribing. And if you want to see more videos where I try out drugstore makeup, you can check out the playlist. See ya!